Presently, the videos aren't that long. That's because I like to get straight to the point. But after each video, you find yourself with a question, simply go to the comments and ask away. If and when possible, they will be answered. This upcoming story is a testament that speaks to the cruelty man would inflict upon his own brethren for such minor infractions, and the lengths he would go to just to pull it all off. Remember this: believe in yourself and trust few. No one could ever have your back like you. Find yourself in a hard one, thinking what to do? Just relax, cause there's no one left to tell a story but you. Oh, don't forget to push down on the like and subscribe button and smash out on that Cashapp and PayPal. That said, we now bring you the Gumbo story, the story of Charles Robinson. So get ready, we're about to get it cracking, you dig? Charles Robinson, aka Charlie B, was known to family and friends simply as Charlie. He was born and raised on the east side of Chicago and belonged to one of Chicago's notorious street organizations. And by the age of 19, Charles had become a small-time shot caller for his gang. On the east side of town, his name rang bells in the streets. If Charlie said jump, members and peons alike said, how high? It was around the age of 23, Charlie B would break into the big times by committing a series of robberies. He was caught, tried, and convicted in a Chicago courtroom in 1981 and sentenced to 4 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. At the time, Illinois law stated prisoners would get day for day, thereby cutting their sentences in half. So in early 1983, he was paroled back into society. But within 2 months, he had returned again on a simple parole violation. And after seeing the board, he was set to be released sometime in July of 1983. Now, this is where the story gets strange, because with only a few days before his release, Charles Robinson would go missing while in prison. It was like he just vanished into thin air, nowhere to be found. And the IDOC didn't have a clue where he was or what had happened to him. They quickly took this stance by saying he just smooth walked out of this institution with a faith-based congregation that was present the day of his disappearance. It would take almost a decade and a cooperating informant to shed light on what really happened to Charles Robinson. It would be in 1992 that this cooperating informant, matter-of-factly, laid out this unbelievable story. Even after hearing it, it seemed too diabolical and well-planned to the feds to even be believable. But nevertheless, they passed the info on to the Illinois Department of Corrections, who gave the impression that they should just let sleeping dogs lie. It would take another 3 years after that before the informant's elaborate story started to ring true. And that was due only in part to a human skull being unearthed during the construction phase at the Illinois prison. The true story that would come to life would shake the most heartless of murders and gangsters and make them gag and sick to the stomach. Oh, if you like the content so far, show some love and push down on the like and subscribe button and smash out on the Cashapp and PayPal. Back to the story. Now, according to the informant, in 1981, Charles Robinson had gotten into an argument with and disrespected a very high-ranking member of his own gang who hailed from the west side of Chicago. And the only reason Charles Robinson did this was because he was doing a short winehead beard and had an ace in the hole, which was, there was a cat he knew from the east side streets that was from his gang that was present there at the institution. He shared the same rank in the gang as the men he had disrespected. You see, Charlie B's thinking was, East Side gonna ride with East Side members, even if it meant an internal war within their gang. Right? Right. But oh, how wrong he was. You see, when it comes to business, gang, or prison politics at play, those that don't know or have clearance to know don't stand a chance behind closed doors. The disrespected gang chief quickly went to his counterpart and pleaded his case, then asked for permission to have him red lighted. And without the bat of an eye, it was granted. Just like that. But unbeknownst to Charlie, his life would end soon. Maybe if he had not violated parole, he may have lived a little longer. Anyway, after the red light was granted, the West Side chief wasted no time or resources getting the guys who would carry out the action. And the two individuals that were picked wasted no time putting their plan into motion. Waiting just a few days before his release, they came up with a plan. Under the guise of a going home celebration, they lured him to a part of the prison where they could use their machetes without getting caught, and they proceeded to hack him into pieces, then washing away all traces that was on them and the parts that filled the bags they now held. Finished, they signaled to their brothers who had prior knowledge to start a diversion by fighting. With staff busy with the inmate started diversion, they hurriedly moved through the tunnels with the body parts in tow to the prison butcher shop. Once there, they made an agreement with an opposition gang member who took the bags, stripping the contents down to the bare bones. The lucky stars must have aligned for all involved, because on tonight's menu was gumbo. The inmate butcher worked fast, mixing all the meats together, then put them all through the meat grinder for tonight's dinner. After finishing the job, he quickly left to alert his organization members as well as his co-conspirators to not eat anything that night from the chow hall, which consisted of gumbo with mashed potatoes and gravy, salad, green beans, and jello. Members from both Chicago street gangs in the know sat silently and watched as their counterparts and others ate plate after plate, because there was plenty to go around, being that they were not eating tonight's meal of gumbo. The Gumbo story. Out of respect for the dead, the names and geographical areas were changed. And since there's no statute of limitations on murder, and this case remains open, all that is allegedly. Other than that, it's all true, to a degree. Do your homework. It was in the Tribune and Sun-Times back then, and several websites of today. Follow me, YouTubers, on my journey. Like and subscribe to my channel. Ask a question. Leave a comment. Also, be on the lookout for the next video and instructions on upcoming Cashapp giveaways. Oh, one more thing. I would like to give a shout out. A shout out to a lady who raised her son, myself, and others to get it in all forms back in the Reagan era. To the Queen of Queens from Chicago, I love you. Though we don't talk much, Auntie, this right here is it. New beginnings. In closing, I repeat the words often said on Chicago streets back when. The game is cold, but it's fair. And a fair exchange ain't never been a robbery.